and informative.
A very beautiful morning to you and welcome to the News Machine, the Artist News Magazine show on radio, and we are reaching you from our FM stations in Lagos on 93.3 FM, FM Abuja 98.3 FM, and FM Owerri 99.5 FM, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Monday to Friday. I am Victor Eze. This morning on the News Machine, here are some top headlines. It is not true President Tinubu has not reopened all Nigerian borders. NAFDAC vows to prosecute drug hawkers nationwide. Still in the headlines, PDP governors meet to tackle internal crisis. The News Machine will be back after this message.
Now you can get your news on. Hot, fresh, exciting, and exclusive. The News Machine.
Reaching you at the same time in Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri. 3 states for the price of 1. Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m.
The News Machine. More than just news.
Hot FM.
We are more than just radio.
Welcome back to the News Machine. The Acting Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Wale Adeniyi, says contrary to speculations, President Bola Tinubu has not ordered the reopening of all Nigerian borders. All land borders were completely shut down from 2018 to 2021 to help check illegal activities. Given the clarification after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the State House, the Controller General of Customs said only 5 borders have been so far reopened.
Well, it is not true that all Nigerian borders have been opened. The situation, the status quo ante still existing in the borders. If you remember that the borders were completely shut down 2018 up until 2021-22 when some selected strategic borders were reopened. That is still the situation as we speak, and this was why we had an ad hoc arrangement of a special unit coordinated by the Office of the NSA to enforce that border closure. But as we speak, about 5 of them have been reopened. 4 were initially reopened and 2 more were opened after that, and that is still the situation. There are ongoing processes to review this situation against the objective of the border closure itself, and the processes are not yet completed. And of course, when the borders are reopened, it's not going to be subject of rumor in any way.
While adding that plans are underway to reopen all the borders, the Acting Controller of Customs said the formal opening will be made public in due course. As the internal crisis in the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) persists, governors elected on its platform met in Abuja for an emergency meeting over the state of the party and the nation. An enlarged meeting of the leaders and stakeholders, which was held last month at its national secretariat, failed to resolve the pre- and post-election crisis that bedeviled the party. At that meeting, the party cautioned its members against engaging in blame games over the outcome of the 2023 general elections. Acting National Chairman Umar Damagum confirmed that the meeting was part of the reconciliation move. The meeting was convened by the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. A statement by the Director General of the PDP Governors Forum, CID, Madu Agbum, said the meeting discussed the state of the nation, especially recent developments in the country, politically, socially, and economically. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has vowed to prosecute drug hawkers nationwide, saying such drugs are dangerous to the health. The Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, made this known at the launch of NAFDAC Media Sensitization Workshop on Dangers of Drug Hawking. Adeyeye said the agency was ready to increase surveillance on those using artificial methods in ripening of fruits and to further prosecute them if caught. She added that fruits ripened with chemicals may also make it lose color, taste, and the natural aroma, and can cause serious health hazards such as kidney and liver failure. President Bola Tinubu has written to the Nigerian Senate seeking for the screening and subsequent confirmation of the new Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs. The request was contained in a letter addressed to the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Akpabio read the letter during plenary.
The Senate is invited to note the current security situation of our country, which requires concerted efforts of both the legislature and the executive to ensure a well-protected nation. This informed the review of our defense architecture and appointment of new leaders to work in synergy with one another to achieve the level of optimal performance expected of the military. While I hope that the request will receive the expeditious consideration and confirmation of the Nigerian Senate, please accept distinguished Senate President and distinguished senators their assurances of my highest consideration.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio, after reading the letter, referred the request to the Committee of the Whole as there was no standing committee on armed forces, just as this means that the service chiefs will be screened on the floor of the Senate, not at the committee level. Now it's time to gather trending stories from our news machine studios at Hot FM 98.3 Abuja. Let's hook up with Abuja Report.
Good morning. Here's the news from Abuja. Nigerian Medical Association, Nasarawa State Chapter, has suspended its 5-day warning strike, giving the state government 2 weeks ultimatum to address all their needs. Newsmen had reported that the association had embarked on a strike following the inability of the state government to implement promotion for some of its members for up to 9 years and annual increment for over 12 years. Briefing newsmen immediately after its emergency Congress meeting in Lafayette, the state capital, on Monday, the state chairman, Dr. Peter Atta, stated that the resolve to suspend the 5-day warning strike was to lessen the sufferings of the citizens of the state. Atta said the association had directed its members to resume work immediately in the state to save lives. Newsmen recalled that the association had earlier on June 13, 2023, given a 21-day ultimatum to press home its demand before the warning strike. FCT administration says the newly introduced revenue harmonization in the FCT is non-discriminatory, as the initiative involves all revenue-generating agencies of the administration. FCT Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola, who made the clarification at the town hall meeting organized by the FCT Internal Revenue Service to harness stakeholders' support for the implementation of the harmonization initiative, noted that the harmonization drive will not only consolidate revenues from the area councils, but also all revenue-generating agencies of the FCT administration. Adeshola was responding to an appeal by the owner of Abaji, Adamu Baba Yunusa, who asked that high earners like the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, the VIO, and DOAS be included in the harmonization initiative.
He inquired whether VIO, APB, DOAS are going to be harmonized. More than that, have been harmonized. It's not just area council bring your own. No, it is FCT bring your sources of revenue for harmonization. When the National Assembly passed the bill, they did not look to area council's resources only. The resources is for FCT, so it's not discriminatory.
Earlier in his speech, the executive chairman of the FCT IRS, Haruna Abdullahi, said the FCT IRS Act entrusts the service with the duty to collaborate with relevant stakeholders and agencies in harmonizing and improving tax practices.
The Federal Capital Territory Internal Revenue Service Act entrusts us, the FCT IRS, with the duty to collaborate with relevant stakeholders and agencies in harmonizing and improving our tax practices. This is aimed at optimizing our revenue generation efforts while ensuring simplicity, transparency, and accountability in all our systems.
He urged the stakeholders to keep these legal provisions in mind, as they serve not just as our guide, but also as our commitment to fairness, efficiency, and collaboration. And that's all from the news machine at Hot FM Abuja. I'm Kevin Joseph La. Back to Lagos.
Alright, let's link up with the news machine studios at Hot FM 99.5 Owerri for the trending news happening in the southeastern part of the country.
Good morning and welcome to our studios in Owerri. President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, has stated that Southeast governors have agreed to work collaboratively and had outlined strategies to address the sit-at-home order imposed by the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, which has disrupted economic and social activities in the Southeast. However, he did not provide specific details on the strategies discussed. He disclosed this when leaders of the Southeast region, including the Ohanaeze Ndigbo and governors, held a meeting recently to address the concerning state of insecurity in the zone, emphasizing that insecurity is a national problem and not exclusive to the region. Chief Iwuanyanwu stressed the need for collective efforts beyond the Southeast to tackle the issue. He expressed that the governors, lawmakers, and Ohanaeze leadership intended to engage President Bola Tinubu to seek his support and cooperation in restoring peace to the region. The Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, has called on the federal government to quickly intervene in the failed portion of the Onitsha-Owerri Road, which has been completely cut off by gully erosion. Soludo, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Ernest Ezeajugi, during an inspection of the site, said the state government is acting on an emergency basis and cannot wait for the federal government to intervene. He also called on the federal government to declare a state of emergency on erosion menace in Anambra State, adding that the people bearing the hardship are in the Anambra. As such, the state government had embarked on intervention to arrest the situation before other measures. And finally, Ebonyi State Governor Francis Ogbonna Nwifuru has applauded the emergence of President Bola Tinubu as the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. A press statement issued by Monday Uzo, Chief Press Secretary to the governor, explained that the election of the president for the position was at the 63rd Ordinary Session of the Heads of State and Government at Guinea-Bissau. The governor noted that the endorsement of the Nigerian president to lead the organization is a welcome development considering his pedigree and accomplishments in public service, which will undoubtedly help the organization to achieve its goals. That's all from the News Machine studios at Hot FM Owerri. Back to our studios in Lagos. I am Ifeyunwa Nwana.
You're still listening to the News Machine, reaching you from our Hot FM stations in Lagos on 93.3 FM, Hot FM Abuja 98.3 FM, and Hot FM Owerri 99.5 FM, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m., Monday to Friday. Let's hear what correspondent Nesta Sani has for us and voices in the news.
Mayor of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, Onwell Ihunda, expressed loyalty to ex-governor Nyesom Wike.
In fact, to some of us, working with you was like a graduate program in the university. Because it was like learning so many things. And I can assure you that we have learned a lot from you. So many things we learned from you. We are glad and happy that we worked with someone like you. Your Excellency, we want to assure you that we are totally with you and that our governor, His Excellency, Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, the governor of Rivers State, that we're going to give him the same 100% support that we give to you. That at any point in time we are called upon as council chairman, always count on us and also count on our loyalty and our support.
And on the foreign scene, Amnesty International AI has urged states in West and Central Africa to tackle corruption and stop persecuting human rights defenders who speak out against it. In a report launched for Africa Anti-Corruption Day, the organization denounced the arrest, harassment, detention, and even death against human rights defenders fighting corruption in the 19 countries of West and Central Africa. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the News Machine. Join us again tomorrow for a fresh edition. Do well to have a beautiful day.